What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 174 of the Rise to Glory here at Gibraltar Apex. And today, it is Champions League time, or at least it will be for the first game of this episode. It's definitely going to be a double header. Which games we do will kind of depend on how the first game goes on against Cluj. If you missed the last episode, it was an international special. I think it was one of the best episodes of this series purely because the matches were super entertaining. And if you missed the episode before that against Benfica, again, entertaining episode. I recommend checking both of those out. And of course, you can find them on my channel. But today, as I said, Club at Cluj, and then a bonus game. Now, this game will either be the game against Gibraltar Lions, which is coming up fairly soonish, or it'll be the game against Stuttgart, which will be the last Champions League group stage game. Look at the Champions League group here. You can see that we are, of course, in Group A. Stuttgart and ourselves are top of the group each. The difference between us being the kind of results, because of Stuttgart beat us in the first meeting between the two sides. They are going to be taking on Benfica today, who are currently third. We have Club at Cluj, and a win against them guarantees our progression to the knockout stages, and if we do that, I'm going to do the Gibraltar Lions live com. If we were to somehow bottle it against Cluj, we will go into the last game of the group stage against Stuttgart very much with it all to play for, so that could be pretty interesting. So anyway, since the last episode, a few games to tell you guys about at club level. At Manchester 62, we went and played them at home. We won 2-0, the Mech and Moscow with the goals. Glasgow United, we won 6-0, good convincing performance, Sebastian Girard with 4. In the league this year, very much been playing our younger teams, and for this game, I'm actually going to be rotating a fair few of our players. I've had a few players really complaining about lack of first team football, and I think one of the reasons behind that's being is, obviously, I kind of have my standard starting 11, but in league games, I've not necessarily been playing my second choice starting 11, but rather my best young players. So, very much the likes of Glenn Andre, Ella Veronese, Vincinius, Espinoza, and Juan have been playing. Another player to add to kind of that collection of players who have been playing is this guy, Bismarck. He's actually a player who's been in the club a while. He reminds me of a Japanese winger we had a few years ago, who some of you guys may remember. His name was Ono, Masaya Ono, and we sold him to PSG. And he scored against us in the Champions League final a few years ago now. This guy reminds me of Ono a lot, and I let Ono go. I didn't really play him that much. I didn't let him develop. I sold him to PSG. I don't want to make that mistake again, and I've been playing Bismarck a fair bit, and to be honest, he's been superb for us. He's got an 8.38 average rating in the Primera Division in the reserve group. In 3 games, he's got 4 goals and 5 assists. So he's been doing very, very well, the 20-year-old. And he's a player who has kind of become one of the players who is playing a little bit in our first team, kind of in the league and such. So anyway, the issue with having all these younger players playing in the league and then kind of having our best 11 play in Europe is there's those players who are kind of on the fringe, who you kind of have around, who are just complaining about lack of first team football. The likes of Gary Horst, Thiago, Mora, Nolrico, Girard, Magni, not Girard. Mosk has also been complaining about lack of first team football, and to be fair, he has a right to. He's been coming on a lot as a sub. So for today's game against Cluj, a team that I really expect us to hammer, I am playing a rotated side. It's a little bit of a risk, but for a lot of these players, playing in Europe is going to hold a big value towards kind of how many matches they want to play. Cluj, not a great team. They've not won a game yet in the group stage. I expect us to beat them fairly comfortably. So yeah, we're going to crack on straight into this. In terms of the team, obviously Mosca up top. As I said, he's only started 2 games for us this year. Duz has kind of been locking down that striker position, but we're going to give Mosca a chance today. We also have Magni out on the left, the Italian international. We have Nolrico, who's going to be playing out on the right. Of course, we have Junior, who would normally play out on the right. In the centre mid position, we have Thiago, who's been at the club a while. He's a good defensive player, but Mini Mosca's kind of been edging him to that defensive kind of position a lot of the time. The other player we've got alongside him is Carlos Andres Moro, who of course joined us this year. And really the last of perhaps the surprise inclusions in today's squad is Gary Horst, who of course led our Gibraltarian side in our last episode. And yeah, we're going to give him a chance because he's been complaining about lack of first team football. I'd like to keep him at the club. And yeah, well, as I said, we're going to keep him there. So anyway, this is the team that we've got. We're playing the wider 4-2-3-1. I feel like that's probably going to suit us best. Cluj, playing quite a narrow system. And normally I'd match a team who play a narrow system. But I feel like with teams that kind of lack a bit of quality and aren't so good, actually playing a wider system with superior players is kind of the way to go. Hopefully that is going to be the case here, and we can just kind of get this game done, no nonsense. We did beat them 4-0 earlier on in the competition, of course. That was with our strongest 11 rather than this rotated side. So we do need to be a little bit wary. Obviously we have strong players on the bench if we need to make some changes, but really it's an expectation I have that we can deal with the team here. And Girard, of course, still on the pitch. Probably should score there. Rico with the rebound, can't divert it. Sebastian Girard, though, already getting a clear-cut chance. Moscow with a nice little bit of hold-up play. Threaded him through with a really nicely weighted pass. And, well, hopefully we can have a bit more of an end product and score a few goals like that, because that was a really nice passing move. And really, we want to be a few goals up if we can be in the first half. That would kind of be the ideal scenario. We don't have to worry too much. We can relax into the game. There's perhaps a few players who I can bring on off the bench who are also wanting first-team football. And that would kind of be my hopes for this game. Whether or not my expectations are quite there, I'm not entirely sure. I feel like with Mosca and Girard up top, you should be expecting fireworks and you should be expecting goals. As Girard has another chance. Saved away. It was a half chance, really. But Cluj's keeper, not for the first time in this game, with a really nice save. And actually, they're bringing the ball forward here. They are playing three strikers. That's something to be a little bit wary of, although we might have a chance here. Mosca and Girard finding a lot of space ahead of them. Mosca brings the ball forward, lays it off to Rico. Got Gaiganov on the overlap, doesn't need him, whips it in near post. Girard with the effort. Another save by the keeper. To be fair, the Cluj goalkeeper has been absolutely insane so far in this game for them. And, well, we're yet to break the deadlock here after 21 minutes. And it's 21 minutes we have bossed. And, well, we might have a chance here. Mosca, got to bury that again. That's another clear-cut chance. 2 half chances, 2 clear-cut chances, but it remains 0-0. Cluj yet to have a shot on target, but it has the inklings of perhaps one of those games you have in FM where you just struggle. Well, I was about to say you struggle to break a team down. You don't struggle to break a team down, but you struggle to actually get the ball into the back of the net. And then they do that, which is score. And Andrei Ikub has, well, broken the deadlock in this game. The first shot on target for Cluj. It was a clear-cut chance, to be fair to them. Nicely worked. Ball kind of put into the near post area. And perhaps we've been caught committing a few too many men forward. Lara did well to keep it in there. Ball to the near post. Defensively a little bit poor. Keeper was very, very uncertain there. Really needed to take command of the situation. Didn't. And, well, Cluj find themselves a goal to the good. And we might have to make some changes at half-time. Although I really would like to avoid doing that if possible. I feel like we should have the quality just to beat them here. And the stats suggest that we probably should be beating them. But we've squandered opportunities that have come our way. And actually, they're really getting into this game. Lara with the effort is saved. They might even get a chance for the rebound. Horse gets it clear. This is not what I want to see. Club Cluj now with 2 clear-cut chances. Only the 1 goal. It was a nice save in the end, to be fair, by Young. But they do still have the ball here. It's going to be crossed in. It's not. It's blocked away nicely. Unfortunately, Rico's clearance lacking a little bit. And, well, that's probably going to be the end of that, you'd think. Although they're still bringing the ball forward. I'm a little bit concerned. The longer this highlight goes on, the more I get worried. Kabasele, a bit of a needless foul there, but it isn't going to amount to anything. But 40 minutes gone, we're a goal down. And despite our early dominance, Cluj, they're having chances and they have the ball in our half again here. Kabasele does well to win it. But the ball does still find its way out wide to Lara, who now lays it inside. Horst, nice tackle. Girard up to Mosca with pace. Can he just break free here? It's a really nice ball to Rico. Back to Mosca. Great passing play. Unfortunately, that end product ball by Mosca across to Girard. Not quite there, but we might have another chance. Rico this time. Whips it in. Mosca. Lovely finish. Lovely goal. It was a really nice goal. Good to get that away goal and kind of hopefully give ourselves a footing going into the second half. So I'll go with that initial ball in. Then Rico picks it up nicely. He just pulls it back really intelligently. Mosca diverts it expertly. Perfectly placed header by him. Girard applauds the goal. He's loving it. And, well, it's 1-1, although Cluj immediately trying to apply some pressure. That said, we now have the ball and we have players surging forward left and right. Rico to Mora. Girard and Mosca on ahead. Rico now, already 1 assist, whips into Mosca. It's almost an exact replica of the previous goal. It's 2 goals in 2 minutes. Rico with another assist, Mosca with another goal. And, well, I would have liked to have had these 2 goals come a little bit sooner in the game, but we'll take them very much before half-time. Mosca, lovely run. This time he hits it on the volley from a Rico cross. And, well, he wheels away in celebration. That was a nice little goal. And hopefully we can go in at half-time ahead. Or we can concede a set piece. I feel like the last few games in Europe we've just not defended very well. It's 2-2 here. And it's a set piece. The ball whipped in. Defenders just don't react. Kabasele misses an interception. And Ikub gets his 2nd goal of the game. And, well, I would have been happy with 2-1 at half-time. 2-2 feels a bit like a kick in the gonads, really. It's not good enough. I've got to tell the players I'm not happy. It's been poor. Obviously, we are playing a rotated team, but you can't really look at that as an excuse, can you? I'm going to make some changes, I think, at half-time anyway. I'm going to switch to the narrower system. I'm going to play Girard, I think, as a complete forward in Mosca on ahead. We'll then play Mora as the centre attacking mid. We'll play Rico as the ball-winning midfielder. Rico is the box-to-box midfielder, Thiago is the ball winner, and then I'm going to bring in Invartsen. Do I want to bring him in to play advanced playmaker? Invartsen, one of the players we brought in this year because he was homegrown. He's quite a good little playmaker, really, and he has good ball-winning ability. But I don't know how good of an advanced playmaker he is. The other option is Junior, who has 15 passing, 14 vision, and some really nice technicals. I think I'm going to bring in Junior. I feel like his physicals are going to help him out in terms of getting around the pitch, drifting into those wider areas as well, out on his right, of course. A right winger by trade. So he might just have that tendency just to drift out a little bit more for us. Either way, we do need to step it up in the second half. Obviously, the change of system, going narrower. We're going to play Mosca and Girard up top together, side by side. No messing around, really. Worth noting that Doos is not on the bench for today's game. I have got the mech on instead. Looking at it as a whole, it's been a pretty disappointing performance by a lot of our players. And, well, another set piece. This time absolutely squandered, though. We have a lot of men forward. It's like a 5-on-1. Girard running forward. Had options, had the ability to hold on to it. It was a little bit selfish, actually, in the end by the Belgium international. And unfortunately for us, it's a chance wasted, and it remains 2-2 here. And I think it's fair to say I've underestimated this opposition here. I'm going to make a change. I'm going to bring in the mech. We're going to give him a chance to hopefully kind of terminate them. He's a good player, is Reda Mechechi. We just call him the mech. I've never learned how to say his last name. I guess it's just Mechechi, but the mech sounds cooler, doesn't it? But we're going to play the Algerian. I'm actually going to play him as the poacher with Mosca to his left, and then Girard at centre attacking mid. That is going to be our second sub of this game. So we have got one more if we want to make it, but with 20 minutes left, I hope that we don't really need to change too much more to get something out of this game. It's been pretty disappointing so far. And that said, still time for us to get a winner, and that is Route 1 football. If Girard scores this, I feel dirty. It's not sexy football. Ludwig Young gets the assist. I mean, the goalkeeper's literally booted it down the middle, Sunday League style. I mean, it's not... I mean, he's kicked it very far as Ludwig Young. It's a great ball through. And, well, Girard with a nice finish. And that's why I didn't take him off, despite the fact he's not really been performing. Girard capable of that kind of finish. 3-2 up. I mean, we can't bottle it again, can we? I say that. Cluj on the attack. Ball to the back post. It's dealt with. Rico wins that as well. It's a 2-on-2. Mosca, the mech, and Co. in attack. Junior lays it off to the mech. To Girard. A lovely touch and pass by the mech. Girard gets his second goal of the game. That was a really nice assist by Reader. Of course, a player who is in his second spell at the club. Never made a senior appearance in his time, but he got homegrown status. That's a lovely touch and a lovely ball through. And Girard, first time finish, just diverts it towards the bottom right corner. Keeper with absolutely no chance. That's going to be game over. 4-2. Not the most comfortable result, I guess it's fair to say. I do feel like we perhaps underestimated Cluj, but we got our kind of crap together. We stepped up and, well, it's going to be comfortable now. It's 5-2. I wish these goals had come a little bit sooner than kind of was it the 81st minute onwards? Yeah, the 81st minute onwards we scored 3. The mech, great impact off the bench though. Might be worth a start in our next game, which is going to be against Gibraltar Lions, of course. Nicely worked in the end though. Mosca with the goals. Girard with an assist to add to kind of his performance with today's game. And it's been a great performance, to be honest, all in all, by just the entire team. There might even be time for one more. Girard coming forward. Surely it can't be 6. Girard probably should have scored then. It was a clear-cut chance. Wasted. I mean, 5-2 flatters us a little bit. I think it's fair to say we were disappointing throughout this game. But we got away with it. I'm pretty happy with the actual performance. The mech came on, got an assist. You can see here, Mosca obviously got a hat-trick. I didn't even realise he got a hat-trick. Fair play to him. Girard got 2, Rico with 2 assists. And, well, after a wobbly start to the game, we eventually got our kind of crap together. Worth noting now that with one game left of the group stage, even if Benfica were to win, we beat them across 2 games. We are guaranteed to go through, I do believe. So it is Champions League knockout football for another year, which is good, obviously, kind of reaching our minimum expectations. I'm pretty sure that sees us through. Let's just check. I'm 99.9% sure, because if Stuttgart win, we'll finish second. If Benfica win, it doesn't affect it at all. And we just have a look at the stages. Are we through? I mean, it says that we've not qualified yet. I'm pretty sure we have. Because even if we lose to Stuttgart, do they go ahead of us? Although if there's a three-way tie, is the sorting rule different? Is it done on goal difference? I'm not sure. What do I do? I mean, the game says I'm not through, and I think that's because if there's a three-way tie, it goes to goal difference. Let's have a look. The sorting rules. I mean, you never get these scenarios, do you? So, results between teams, goal difference. Team records against other teams on the same points will be sorted by the following order. Team records against other teams on the same... team records... I mean, that's not English, is it? I think it's done on away goals. I mean, I'm confused. .com. What do I want to do here? I think we're through. I'm 99.9% sure we're through. But I feel like we should still do the game against Stuttgart. I feel like it's really obvious, the problem here. I mean, the solution is we beat Stuttgart and we don't have to worry. But I think we'll have to do that Stuttgart game. I wanted to do the Gibraltar Lions game because it could be fairly competitive, but we have got a Senior League Cup game coming up against them not too long after. So maybe we'll do that game as a separate one. That will also mark the end of 2037 as it's a game on the day before New Year's Eve. So that's what we'll do. We'll go forward to the Stuttgart game. We'll make sure we get through to the knockout stages, which I have a feeling we're already through anyway. And next episode we'll play that Gibraltar Lions game. So anyway, I'll be back in a second. Stuttgart at home. Hopefully we can get a better result than we did when we lost 2-0 to them away. And let's see if we can just ensure that top spot in the group. So I have to apologise. I've got to do a intermission in this episode. You were expecting the next game. I was too. Because the World Cup draws just appeared for the group stage. I didn't expect it. It's December. We're in pot 4, which I don't think's very good. I don't know what music the World Cup draw has. But we're just going to watch the draw and we're going to put on automatic and it's going to be dramatic. I believe we're 4th seeds. So we will be coming out at the end, which interesting. Obviously the seeds in the World Cup are done off regions. So I'm looking at these groups. Canada the hosts in Group A. Really, Group A is the group you want to be in. But it never works out like that in FM. Croatia's okay, I guess. We played them in the Euros. I'm liking the look of Group A. In Group B, actually, Thailand. Not a great nation. Not a nation renowned for their football prowess. Group C, I'd like to avoid. I mean, at the moment, I'll take any group. I mean, Group A now looks very appealing, doesn't it? Australia, Canada, and Chile. I mean, Group B doesn't look that bad. Group D, I'm looking at all these groups and they don't look that bad. I feel confident. What group are we going to get put in? Our name's coming out any second. Where are we? France got the easy group. Of course they did. Don't put us in England's group. Brazil's group? No. When are we coming out? Senegal, South Korea? No. We'll give you the last out. No, we're not. We've got Belgium, Jamaica, and South Africa. I mean, that doesn't seem that bad. If we just look at this, it's Group G. Let's just... Can we get it so we can just see our group? Is that an option? Can we do that? Apparently not. Well, anyway, let's have a look at the group. So in our group, we are, of course, ranked 31st in the world. We had a really big jump after the last Rise of a Nation episode. If we look at Belgium, they're going to be the big dogs in this group, I imagine. Of course, they've got Gibraltar and Doos. They are ranked 3rd in the world, so that's going to be a slaughter. But we have that to look forward to. The other teams in the group, we've got Jamaica and South Africa, which, to be honest, could be a little bit worse. South Africa are 36th. That's below us, is it not? What I've forgotten what ours was already. I'm that excited by it all. So we're actually ahead of South Africa, and I imagine Jamaica are behind us too. They're 50th. I mean, it could have been a worse draw. I mean, I'm thinking Jamaica and South Africa are I don't want to say the weaker nations, but I actually feel like we can win either of those games, which is nice. If we just look, Jamaica's key player is this guy, Navrik Reed. I mean, that's filling me with confidence seeing him as their star player, because I actually think Salcedo's probably a little bit better than him. They've also got a left-back called Winston Francis, who looks okay, but he doesn't look like anything that special. And then let's just have a quick look at South Africa. I imagine South Africa are going to have a few better players, if I had to hazard a guess. They've got this guy, Mahau. He's a good goalkeeper, but he's not crazily good. He's not scarily good. Plays for Hoffenheim. And they've got Ndlovu, who plays for Lille. Did he used to play for Gibraltar Lions? He did. I thought I recognised his name. He went for 1.6 million in the summer. And they've also got this guy, whose name I'm not going to try and say. I mean, he looks quite good. But at the same time, they're not Italy. Really, are they? That's the motto now. They're not Italy. I feel good about that World Cup draw. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments. I've still got another game to go through. If we just quickly have a look. We just played Gibraltar Lions. We scraped through. Wasn't a comfortable game. I've got Gibraltar Phoenix yet to play. That's happening tomorrow. And of course, we have Stuttgart, which is when I'm going to be back next. So, that was the World Cup draw. As I said, let me know your thoughts. And let's get on to the game against Stuttgart. Okay guys, we are back here for the second game of today's live come. Obviously, the World Cup draw, nice little distraction really, but we do need to focus on the here and now. In terms of the Champions League, I decided not to look into what happens if Stuttgart beat us and Benfica win, because it would be a three-way tie with every team in the group on 12 points. And I don't know what happens, so we'll leave that to suspense. I'm hoping really that we're just going to beat Stuttgart here and we don't even have to worry about it. If we do, I hold my hands up and I confess I should have looked into it, but I have faith in the boys. We've got a very good team for today's game against Stuttgart, so we'll kind of play it by ear, I guess. In terms of our team, we don't want to be looking at the Gibraltarian national team. This is the team we're going to play. It's kind of what I consider to be our strongest 11 at the moment. We've got Ludwig Jung in goal, of course, the Swede. He's an experienced goalkeeper at this point, 33 years old. He's still a very good keeper, obviously. 20 handling, 16 reflexes, decent aerial reach. In terms of the back four, it's the back four that you know by now. Kabasele at left back, Mustafa at right back. Oh, not Mustafa, Geigenhoff at right back. Of course, and Mustafa and Assad in the centre-back positions. Jorge Assad, of course, 25. And we also have here Mustafa, who, it's worth noting, has decided to retire from international football at the age of 29 to extend his club football career, which seems like a really early decision, but to be fair on him, almost 120 caps. No mean feat that, but it has retired from international football at a slightly younger age than you might expect for a player of his calibre. But anyway, our back four very much full strength, and the same can really be said for the rest of the team. Gilvan is going to be our box-to-box midfielder today, of course, the scorer of many wonder goals throughout the years. We have Volsky at right back, a very, very good, or right centre mid, sorry, a very, very good playmaker. In the centre mid position, we have Mini Mosca, centre attacking mid, Sebastian Girard, and up top, it's the duo. It's Walid Duz playing the complete forward role, and alongside him we have the one, the only Mosca with the captain's armband, hoping he can, of course, put a good performance in today. We've got a few options on the bench. We've got Veronese, Horst, Graffite, Junior, Mora, Magni, and the Mech for today's game. Hopefully they can just kind of do a performance if we need them to. Obviously, Mecheche had a very good performance last time out, the Algerian player who I would like to see play a little bit more first-team football perhaps, and he might get a chance in today's game. But anyway, we are at home against Stuttgart at the Space Park. We lost to them 2-0 last time we met them, but the result wasn't really reflective, I guess, of how the game went. We were the better team for large spells of that game. I'm hoping that today we can get a little bit of revenge, obviously top the group with a win here, and kind of sit comfortably. As I mentioned, I'm not entirely sure what happens if everyone ties on 12 points. It would be a weird scenario to have a three-way tie to top the group. So it's a scenario which I don't think has ever happened in real life. If it has, please let me know, because I don't know of it. But no, I'm hoping we just win today and it's nice and comfortable and we don't have to worry about it, as we nearly have an own goal and we're in the lead. Scrappy, I think, is the best way to describe that. Stuttgart with some questionable defending at best. We'll get to have a glorious look at it in 3D here. But Geigenov at right back, the Ukrainian whips it in. Defender kicks it. The keeper saves it. Forsters just doesn't clear it. And Mosca says thank you very much and slots it home for a goal there in the opening 9 minutes of the game. So very good by him. Worth noting that Geigenov and Mustafa, two players who did request to leave the club. Earlier on this season, Mustafa wanted to go to Juventus and Geigenov actually was linked with Real Madrid. They've both since told me that they want to stay at the club, which is always good. And obviously, higher morale, better performances hopefully. And hopefully we can see a good performance from them today as Duz gets himself on the score sheet. And well, we lost 2-0 to Stuttgart. They are 2-0 down to us after 18 minutes and we have been running rampant here. Duz, nice ball to Mosca. Great tackle to be fair by Broker, but the ball fell really nicely to Duz, and he just hammered it home into that away end. And well, the Stuttgart fans looking a little bit down, it's fair to say, having seen their side concede 2 goals early on in this game and yet to really show anything going forward. If we could get one more before half-time, that would be fantastic. But really looking at it, we've been very, very good in this first half. It's been a dominant display, and well, deservedly so. We take a lead at half-time, and well, the strongest team is on the pitch. Obviously, we didn't do that against Cluj earlier, and it almost backfired in the end. The 5-2 result, fairly comfortable. But this game, not messing around, not even willing to risk it. We are playing to win this game, and, well, winning it we are right now. It's been a great way to bounce back, of course, following that 2-0 defeat against Stuttgart earlier on in the group stage. We had a slow start to the season, really. I think it's fair to say, obviously, the defeat against Stuttgart, we had the defeat against Gibraltar Lions, but, well, we're having a good game now, and Forsters is not having a good game. He was responsible, really, for Moscow's opening goal. He didn't clear the ball very well, and he's a player, actually, who I've been looking at, Forsters. Not giving the best of count of himself, considering he's a player who I am looking at. He has an £80 million release clause. I think it's fair to say that his performance in this game has kind of put me off that. Gilvan whips in. Can we get a fourth? Can we make it 4-0? Can we embarrass the German side? I mean, they kind of embarrassed us a little bit. We have a chance. Moscow scores. Thank you very much. It's his second of the game. It's 4-0. 60 minutes gone. Stuttgart only 2 shots on target all game. The initial set piece was cleared well, but, well, Dues with a fantastic little header there. Girard with a bit of a decoy run. Moscow latches onto it somehow and manages to eventually bundle it home from, well, about 8 yards out, really. Keeper didn't really stand a chance. This is great. This is what I wish the game had been like before. It kind of reminds me of the first half against Benfica, to be honest, when we won 4-2, of course, but we did concede 2 goals in the second half. This game, 2-0 up at half-time, and we've just maintained that level of performance thus far. And, well, you'd say the game's over now, really, even if we were to allow Stuttgart to get a goal here and lose a clean sheet, which I'd really like to keep hold of. We look by far and away the better team, although they might have a chance here. Lewis through. He scores. We lose the clean sheet. 15 minutes left, though. Let's make a few subs. Girard struggling a little bit with fitness. We're going to bring on Mora there. Cavasele also struggling. We'll bring on Graffite. And I think we'll also bring on Junior, and we'll bring him on for Mini Mosca, just to give Mini Mosca a little bit of a rest, do the triple sub. We don't need to worry too much about this game. It's pretty much over. A little bit disappointing in the defending here. Sad and Mustafa caught really far apart, really. There was just a big channel opening in the middle, and the pass was really being asked to be hit there. I think Mustafa perhaps could have moved across a little bit more with the rest of the back four, although Assad kind of took up a somewhat bizarre position, really. But regardless, we're not going to have to dwell on it too much. It's 4-1 here. It would have been lovely to keep a clean sheet, but this game, even if they score again now, Stuttgart, it's dead and buried. We've won it. And, well, they might have a chance here. Forsters, who has a little bit of making up to do. I don't think he's going to be able to do it just today, but he did get a nice pass off there to keep the threat alive. And he does thread in Markovic, who has an effort. It's saved very nicely by Ludwig Young. Still not fully cleared. They might have another chance. They don't. Stuttgart, the ball runs out. And that's probably going to be all she wrote for this game. Ultimately, 2 pretty convincing performances this episode. I said I didn't want to have to worry about the what-if scenario of if we lost to Stuttgart again. If you can let me know what the scenario would have been. I assume it's done off maybe goal difference if you just have a three-way tie, of course. Normally, you do it off head-to-head results, but the way the results worked out meant that we had beaten Benfica twice, Stuttgart had beaten us twice, and Benfica had beaten Stuttgart twice, if that makes sense. So, obviously, head-to-head wouldn't have really worked in a three-way tie in that scenario. Either way, we got the result we needed. Mosca grabbing a brace, Dues with an assist and a goal. It was a good performance. It was a very convincing performance. We topped the group, which is, of course, going to give us an easier first knockout round draw, which is always nice. And really, it draws to a close what was initially a little bit of perhaps a worrying Champions League group stage. That said, we settled down. The double header against Benfica to get 2 wins there was always massive. And these last 2 games today, really, again, very, very good performances for us. Anyway, in terms of when we'll be back, I talked about the fact that I want to do the game against Gibraltar Lions in the Senior League Cup quarter-final. That could be quite an interesting game because it is going to be the end of the year. It will be a slightly shorter episode, but I would like to talk a little bit about the Primera Division and what's going on, because if you look at the league table here, it's not what you expect the Primera League table to look like. So it could be interesting to have kind of a look at the midway point at kind of how teams are getting on and such. But anyway, guys, that is it all from me. Thank you for watching today's episode. Let me know what you made of the World Cup draw. Of course, South Africa, Jamaica and Belgium, the 2 or 3 teams that we are going to have to come up against. As always, if you have enjoyed this video, please do leave a like. And other than that, thank you so much for watching, guys. It is me, Jack. And yeah, I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.